Hi, this is Laura. Welcome to the Coastal Business Channel. Today we're going to talk about job search tips to help you find the right job that you've always wanted. So number one, very obvious, figure out what your career goals are. Some people it's make more money, some people it's to become CEO, maybe you just want to manage people, maybe your career goal is to work the shortest amount of time to save up as much retirement so you can retire early. So figure out what your career goal is, and that is going to be something where you're going to need to sit down, meditate, make lists, journal, do what you need to do to really figure out what your career goal is. Number two is you have to dedicate time to the search. I mean, that's your job. Your job now is, whether you are going to be laid off, have been laid off, you want to quit your job, you just got fired, you need to take time. Is it in the evening because you still have the job? Is it in the morning before you go to work? Or are you not working right now so you can spend between 8 and 12 and dedicate? Maybe it's not 8 and 12, maybe it's 8 and 10 and 2 to 4. Dedicate hours to your job search. That is the best way to get multiple opportunities to find what it is you want to do. I have actually never limited my search to online, whether it is for clients, whether it is for jobs. I utilize online. I will send emails. I always try to follow up with a phone call, whether it is for clients or for jobs, positions, talking to someone. If you can get someone to meet you in person, that is something you should do. If you're able to reach out to someone and get them online, ask them for a meeting. Ask them to go get coffee. I'd like to learn about what your company does. Not, I'm looking for a job. I'd like to learn more what your company is doing. And then you go to meet that person, and maybe that person's not the right person doing hiring. Maybe that's not the right person in the department, but the person you meet, if you get along well and you have a nice meeting, will probably be willing to help you out. You need to make, number four, you need to make networking a part of your everyday life. And I will tell you, my networking that's a part of my everyday life is via the phone. It's not in person. It's not going to network meetings. It's not holding seminars or having classes. I don't like to do those things. My networking every day is through phone calls and current clients, prospective clients. But that, if you're looking for a job, that's what you need to do. You need to get out there all the time. It doesn't need to be in addition to the 4 hours that I've suggested if you're not working, but it is something that you need to do. If you're still working, talk to your friends. Do they have spouses, girlfriends, aunts, uncles, husbands, wives that are working in an area that you would like to do? Hey, can I reach out to your friend or your spouse? I'd love to get coffee and learn more about what they do. That's a nice way to network. It's a nice way to start to build a relationship from scratch that maybe can help you out down the road. My number five, and again, I get a lot of this off the internet, so I'm looking at these lists and I'm kind of compiling what means something that I think would be beneficial or not. And number five is take it or leave it, is keep yourself busy. Now, again, if you're networking, if you're we're spending 4 hours a day looking for jobs, well, you've kept yourself busy. But I do think in general, when I've had periods, not the period when I was laid off after I had my son, but when I've had other periods when I didn't work, I would play more tennis, I would go running. I kept myself busy. I think when you sit in your apartment or your home and you're just, or your parents' home, and you're just sitting there wallowing in misery that you don't have a job, it's easy to have time kind of like snowball on you. All of a sudden it's a month, it's 2 months, it's 3 months, it's 4 months. Now it gets a little bit harder to explain this absences in your work, or even just to get motivated. So keep yourself busy. It doesn't have to be anything that costs money. I would go running. It cost me $0. I mean, I lived in New York City, so it was expensive. So when I wasn't working, I couldn't sit there and do all these really expensive high-flying things. So I would go for running and play tennis with friends. It really didn't cost me any money, but it kept me busy. It kept me feeling good. It's definitely like exercise and endorphins, kept me feeling good about myself. It's something that didn't exist when I was there, which is number 6, is your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn didn't really exist when I was working way back when. So there was no LinkedIn profile, but now we have LinkedIn profiles. Keep it updated. Be active on LinkedIn. Are there other people in your industry that that you've met up with before that you can kind of reconnect that relationship? Or start searching on LinkedIn and maybe follow people, and if they have a post, make a comment. Go on YouTube. Is there somebody on YouTube that has a video about the industry that you're in? Make a comment. Try to get a dialogue going. I honestly believe people like to help other people, and people like to have other people succeed. And as long as you comment and are friendly and nice, develop these relationships, people would be willing to help you. So number 7 is use multiple job search engines or multiple job search websites. Don't just use one. I think that kind of goes without saying. Again, if you're spending 4 hours a day on your job search, you have to use more than one because you're going to exhaust some of the other ones. And then when you do find jobs on these websites, do your research. Is this something you like? Do you know someone that works at the company? Can you look on LinkedIn at this job that came up on monster.com or Monster Jobs or whatever it's called? Do you know someone at that company that you can kind of get in there? So not only did you apply to their resume, but you can, send an email to John Doe. Hey, John, I just applied to this job at your company. Do you know anyone that works in the area? Can you help me out? Okay, so now that you've got your job search going, you've got some websites going, these websites, these job search engines, your friends, your network are going to ask for your resume. So what does your resume look like? How is that playing out? So when you go through to build your resume, I've always built mine from scratch on a Word doc. And it's so old now that I just kind of update it here and there. But if you're younger than I am, there's resume builders. It's 2023. Go and find a resume builder. So not only does the Word have a resume builder, which I've never used, but there are resume templates. So just go into the search engine, resume template, resume builder, and you're going to find something that they're going to format it. They're going to look nice. There's also, Grammarly that will help you with the grammar. Those are really great tools to use, and I highly suggest them. The last 4 things that pertain to your resume, I think kind of go under one, and that's just overall editing. So editing of your resume, you want the format to be specific. So if you have a job that you've done, and then you have bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, and then you have the job you did previously by that, and it's 1, 2, 3, that's sloppy. So if you've used bullet points on the first one, use bullet points on the second one. And again, I would tell you, I would choose for you not to number. I don't like resumes that are numbered. I like them bullet points. Numbering, I don't know why. I just think it doesn't look clean to my eyes. That's my opinion. So if someone else has an opinion, do numbering. However, I have looked at thousands of resumes of my time working on Wall Street, and I don't know that I ever saw one numbering. Number 2 is proofread. There are words that are similar in spelling or even similar in meaning, but they're not necessarily the right words you want to use that Grammarly or your proofreader on your Word or what have you isn't going to pick up. So I like to read things backwards. I like, look at it backwards. So my brain isn't automatically filling in my resume for me because I've now gone over my resume, 20 hours that it's like second nature to me. If I go over it from the bottom up backwards, I can see spelling mistakes. I can see word choices that are wrong. And number 6 is cut the fluff. Most of my sentences on my resume are one line. And if they're not one line, I have to have a very good reason as to why I had to have 2 lines. And for me right now, maybe that's like if I'm talking about my, sales objectives or what I accomplished in my sales, I might have that as multiple lines. Part of the cut the fluff and all that is my resume doesn't say I managed 5 people. My resume says managed 5 people. So there's no I, there's no she, there's no he, there's no we. Managed team 6 people. Team leader of 10 people. Cut all that out. It's really the first word of every bullet point should be a verb, and it should be a well thought of verb. On team 5 people. Who cares that you were on a team of 5 people? What did you do on that team? I managed, I led, I developed a team, whatever it is. So you want to make sure that those verbs are specific to what you did, tell more of a story. There shouldn't be a whole lot of is and ares. If it's a previous job, it should all be in the past tense. If it's what you're doing now, it should be present tense. You can put your resume on social media. I would tell you I hesitate to do that. I would maybe put an objective. I would let it be known that I'm looking for a job. I would reach out to specific people. I wouldn't, just flash my resume all over the place. You want to make it look tailored and that you're applying to stuff. And I'm applying to this job because I like the company. I think I'll be good at this position. If if they think your resume is like everywhere, you're going to lose credibility when it comes to a specific job. If you have a job title, I'm reading that you should emphasize it. I don't necessarily know that I ever emphasized my job title. My job title was always there. It would have been, Goldman Sachs derivatives trader. So it wasn't derivatives trader at Goldman Sachs. So I don't know if you want to say it was more emphasized than my bullet points, right? So it'd say Goldman Sachs, and underneath it would say derivatives trader, and then I'd have my ... So, meaning what did I do in that position? And the most obvious thing is don't lie in your resume. And this, I worked for a woman. I was really surprised. She totally kept her job. She lied about going to University of Chicago, and it was really funny to get her MBA. So she had on her resume, it went out on prospectuses. We were at an asset management. It went out on prospectuses that were filed with the SEC and FINRA that she graduated from the University of Chicago on a certain date. And sadly, you can look it up. You can look up name. And no, she got a certificate for, I don't even know what it was. It was something like random. It was, it had business related. It was something like, operational, whatever. But she had on all these documents that she actually was a graduate of University of Chicago. And I brought it to the attention of her boss because I was like, okay, this comes out, she's going to lose all credibility. People don't look up that stuff. So I guess no one really cared, and it stayed that way, and she kept her job and all that kind of stuff. But I would be careful about that. I really would. Don't lie about graduating from someplace. Don't lie about a certificate. Don't lie about a position that you had at a firm, because in this world with the media the way it is, social media, the internet, people can talk and things get moved really quickly. So watch out for that. Other than that, I think this was helpful. Or I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'd be happy to get back to you. If you have specific questions about resumes, I did that a lot when I was in business school. I did that a lot when I worked on Wall Street, not only reading them and analyzing, but also helping other people. I did a lot of volunteer work helping college grads in New York City with resumes. So please reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. Good luck. Thank you.